heavy. Not yet, chicken.
I've been waiting now for a long time for these chickens, for all of them to start laying eggs, and at this point I think most, if not all, of the 24 chickens are laying eggs. But that's created a problem because I've only got like 5 or 6 nesting boxes over here, so they tend to lay eggs all over the place, on the shelves, in this blue bucket that you can see behind me here, just all over the place. So we're gonna have to fix that later today. Hey man, what happened?
She died out.
She sure did.
The chicken died out.
What are we gonna do?
The chicken catcher.
The chicken catcher? We can just open the gate and let her in. How about that? You gotta get close to the house, all right? You gotta get to where she can't go back. All right, the gate's open. Bring her over. Slow down, slow down. You got her, good job.
She got back in the coop.
But the main thing on my list today is to start the process of getting these pigs off to the butcher. I've got 11 days left with these pigs, so I need to go get a trailer from a friend and work on it and get it a little bit more roadworthy. But as you can see from this barrel behind me, they are quite large, and I'm getting to the point where I'm not going to be sad to see them go, and I'll explain that a little bit later. But let's go get a trailer for now. Want to make sure there's not any leftover livestock in here. If you've watched the channel for any length of time, you'll know that I'm really not much of an electrician, but this trailer is a loaner trailer, and it's got some wiring issues. Last year when I took the other 2 pigs to the processor, I put new lights on it, but never could quite get these lights wired up properly. So I just kind of took the risk and went on to the processor with not all the lights working. But this time I want them to work right. So let's see if we can get these wires figured out. This is the left tail light right here, and the blinker and the brake light work on this side. So I'm thinking I can take, I've affectionately heard these referred to as idiot lights, and that's pretty good for my electrical skills. But I'm going to take this and see if I can find, okay, so that's the brake right there. I'm thinking if I can figure out what color is what, oh, it's hot, what color is what on all of this stuff, then maybe I can track the wires properly and get the other side going too. So this one is the brake right here. Let's see if we can track the yellow one and get it hooked up to the other line. I seem to remember last year I did a lot of things trying to get this figured out that were probably not right. So I don't even know if the wires are color coordinated like they used to be. Let's just start testing things. Gotta have a place to ground it. All right, well that's not lighting up, but I don't know if it's because that's the wrong wire or if it's not grounded out right. Let me look at that. Actually, it probably makes more sense just to find it from this light and then backtrack it from there. I told you I'm not an electrician. This is the wire right here, and this wire should be going off to the other light too to make the brakes work. Oh gosh, all right. I just went and checked, and this one that we just tested is actually, when you turn the headlights on in the truck, what makes the tail lights come on, not the brake lights. So let's figure out which one does the brake lights. But the good news is both sides of the headlight, tail lights, that works. It's possible that this one is the brake lights. Or maybe not. Maybe this one. Shoot, maybe not. Got nothing on this side. Maybe this stray wire's got something to do with it. maybe not. During the course of all this, I've discovered that the running lights, the lights that come on back here when your headlights are on, and the brake lights are actually backwards. So when I hit the brakes, I get running lights, and when I turn the lights on, I get much brighter brake lights. So I want to, pretty soon I'm going to have this wired up so that when I turn the lights on, the toilet in the house flushes if I keep going here. But what I want to do is get that straightened out before I try to straighten that right one out. So I don't know if y'all can see that or not. I don't think, yeah, you can barely see it. See that light turning on? See how dim that is? Let's see if we can swap that one and make it brighter. All right, can y'all see that? Oh yeah, so that's the difference. So that's the proper brake light right there. That's where it should be. And that's where it was. So big difference. Let's get these stuck together, swapped out, and then we'll see if we can figure out the rest of it. But now that I think about it, I don't really know how the blinker ties into all this. I'm gonna turn the blinker on and see what happens with it. All right, the left blinker is working. I think it's working on the brake light, the brighter one now. So this light is great. Let's see if we can get the right one going. Well guys, I've been working for quite some time on these trailer lights, and I've found the source of the problem. These two fuses that control the trailer blinkers are both blown, and so I'm gonna have to go a little bit farther because of course this is not the root of the problem. There's something else that's causing these fuses to bust. So I don't know, we'll keep going here. So I ended up having to run to town for fuses, and I think that I'm getting much closer here. I've got I think that I've pretty much found out where everything comes from, and I've got all the power that I need. Both blinkers are working at the rear plug. I think everything's working at this rear plug, but the connection here is not that great. So I'm going to try to put some of this, it's the electrical lubricant or whatever it is back here, so I can get this plug in there just a little bit better. And I'm going to see if that improves my connection, and maybe then I'll be able to get the power to the back where I need it to be. Alright, let's see what that does. At this point, all of the plugs are giving me a good connection, and I should have power back here. It's just a matter of sorting all these wires out. This one right here is for the running lights, and it's in the wrong spot. One of these is for the blinker. That's it right there. So I need to swap these two right here because the blinker should be going right now, and it's not. I think I'm on the edge of a breakthrough here. Actually, those fuses were the real breakthrough. Okay, so the blinker is going right here, and now I need to sort out the running lights. In fact, it looks like I've got emergency flashers on both sides right here, which means I've got brake lights on both sides. Let's see if we can get the running lights sorted out. I do have brake lights on both sides. So now we need to get our running lights working back here. Everything else is working. So here is our wire right here for the running lights, and it's gonna have to go. It's got to be spliced to this one right here, and I think that's going to complete this little project. On the other hand, there's a wire right there that I don't really know what it does, but I'm not worried about it because everything's working that I need to work. Oh, that might be it. Now let's go watch the video and see if all that worked. So I actually did the very jackleg thing of taking a little bit of the insulation off of some of these wires right here so I could get to the wire itself with my tester so I could figure out what in the world all these wires are doing. And maybe that wasn't the best method, but I don't know what else I could have possibly done to have figured that out, because I did try on the plug here. I did attempt just to figure it out by the plug, but I couldn't figure out why I wasn't getting a response from the plug itself. So I thought maybe the plug was bad. So I thought, well, let's go on back to the wires. And anyway, that's how I finally discovered that the fuses were bad. So probably not the best method here, but it got the job done. So I'm going to put a little bit of electrical tape on these wires, and then get the conduit back on it, and put a little conduit on the trailer, and I think we're gonna be good here. Now that I think of it, it might have been best just to check the fuses first. It's kind of like a lawnmower that won't start. You do 1,000 things and then check it and make sure it's got gas in it. It's the simplest things that should have been checked first, I suppose. This bracket that holds this plug here, I ran into a trailer with it one time, so it's pretty messed up, and I'm having trouble getting this plug back in. What you doing, man?
Playing with water.
You having fun? Last year when I borrowed this trailer, the floor unfortunately had been rotted out of it, so I put a new floor down, and it's just sawmill lumber, of course, and I put it in way too tight. I didn't leave any gaps between the boards, and you can see right here that it is all swollen up in the water, in the humidity, the rain, whatever, and it has bucked up really bad right here. So we got to take this board out and cut it down and see if we can get this back down to where it belongs. It looks like when I did this job last year, I had not run out of these Phillips head screws yet. I'm thankful that these are gone out of my collection. A lot of work for a pork chop. It's going to be a really good pork chop though. To the white meat right width. There it is. That's a lot better. Well, that project took just about all day. It's 6 o'clock in the evening at this point, and I'm ready to be done. And what I'll do is tomorrow I think we'll try to get that chicken, those brood boxes, and get it in the chicken coop, and we'll talk about why I'm not going to be super sad to see the pigs go. But lots of progress. This is a big deal getting this trailer going. It needs a tag now, and we're in the process of getting that as well. So it looks like we're just about set to get these pigs out of here. Alright, that's it right there, right?
Still got the animal carrier in there?
No.
They've laid in there for a while. He said, my corn is about ready. It's coming off. If y'all need some, I'll bring you some.
We've got different ideas here. You scared me, man. Where'd you come from?
The house.
Oh, sorry, buddy. You okay?
I'm okay. Where to lay your egg?
She doesn't have any good place to lay an egg. Okay. So this is kind of the next step, or the last step really, in this process of these boxes here. These are the bottoms of the boxes, and I think it's interesting that these bottoms are actually removable, and I guess it's because they tend to rust out, and a lot of these are pretty rusty, and I'll probably have to make some new ones at some point, but for now I'm just going to go with these, and if they fail on me, I'll make some new ones. Some of them are, of course, better than others. This one's pretty nice right here. These others I've been putting in are a little bit rough. I'll use them till they break. Last step here, of course, is just some pine shavings for these boxes, and I want to go ahead and finish this up pretty quick because it sounds like a pretty serious storm is on the way, and I want to talk about the pigs before I wrap up this video. So let me get this wrapped up and we'll talk about pigs. We'll talk about the pigs once this storm passes. Alright guys, let's talk about these pigs that are behind me over here eating out of that tire. That look like our storm's totally over. There's some that are still pretty close, it sounds like. So I mentioned earlier in the video that I'm really not particularly sad to see these pigs go. And I know that kind of probably sounds a little bit callous, but what I mean by that is early on when we got these pigs, I had to set it in my mind that these pigs are for a purpose. These pigs have one purpose in life. Now, that's not to say that these pigs haven't had other purposes. So these pigs have taught me a ton of things about homestead pig farming. They've taught me that paddocks that you can move around a little bit are really the way to go. They've got lots of pasture. They have a good time rooting around in the dirt. They allow pigs to be pigs. And that's really the way to go, because when you move them around, the smell is better, the fly situation's a lot better, and they're just a lot happier. These pigs just seem to be at ease and at home where they are out here. And they've taught me a lot about food. I have open fed these pigs from the beginning, from a big, just about from the beginning, from a big barrel. They get all they can possibly eat, and they've grown very, very quickly. They're about 6 months, a little over 6 months old at this point, and they're massive. The biggest one is 300 pounds. The other three have blown past 250. They're big pigs. They've grown really, really well, and I would consider this a success. I've learned a ton about pig farming earlier on in this project. They provided me with a ton of entertainment too. I know that sounds kind of strange, but I would actually come out here and sit under this cedar tree out here in the mornings when it was cooler in a chair and just read and watch the pigs, and it was just a blast watching the pigs and watching their own individual personalities, watching them get in fights over grubs and stuff that they were rooting in these holes, and it was just fun to watch them. But as they have grown, it has gotten easier and easier and easier for me to embrace the fact that they're actually food. They've got one purpose, and that is to provide us and family with very high quality meat. And the reason that it's gotten much easier to have that attitude is because look at them. They are massive and they are eating so much food right now. They're eating a good 6 or 7 pounds per day of the food that I'm giving them, and that's per pig. That's not the whole herd. That's per pig. They are sucking it down like you wouldn't believe. So that's not a sustainable thing. I would not be able to just continue to keep these pigs at the rate that they're eating food. They would be 800 pounds next year and I would be bankrupt. That just doesn't work. Another reason is when they were 100 pounds, they were kind of cute, right? They walked around and you could go into the pen and you could pet them and just have a good time, right? But now it's a little more challenging to go out there, because if you need to go into the pen and adjust the feeder or do something with the feeder, you've got to watch your back, because a 300-pound pig can be dangerous. And now, to be fair, these pigs have been very gentle, but I don't like my son to go out there by himself and just walk around. I mean, there's camera math doesn't work really good, but you're looking at 1,000 pounds of pork out here in 4 of these animals, 1,000 pounds plus actually in 4 of these animals, and that can be dangerous. And they may not mean to do any damage, but they can do some damage. When the pigs were 50 and 100 pounds, it didn't concern me for my son to go out there and just hang out with the pigs a little bit. In fact, there are some videos on the channel that include him doing just that, and it didn't bother me. But now I don't let him do that. They are, I don't want to say they're a lot higher maintenance, because I've got them in these paddocks and it's just really not all that bad, but they're getting a little more rambunctious. If you see, they're eating out of a tire back here. That tire is supposed to have a feeder on top, but within the last 2 weeks they have started knocking that feeder over, and I never had a problem with that when they were smaller. It's just not a sustainable thing to have these pigs for much longer, and it would be great to have them off of my plate and onto my plate, I guess you could say. But that's what I mean by I'm not sad to see them go. It's gonna be a really good payoff here in a couple of weeks when we get those boxes back from the processor, and they're full of pork chops and sausage and pork belly and all of the good things that is inside of these pigs back here. It's gonna be very rewarding. It's gonna be satisfying, and I'm really looking forward to that part of this whole process here. So that's what I mean by I'm not sad to see them go. It's not that I don't respect these pigs. These pigs, I mean, one of my goals was to give them a good life and to make sure they only really had one bad day. And I think I've been successful in that. These pigs seem very, very happy. If I go out there, they come to me like dogs, basically. And they love for me to scratch them. They love to be sprayed with a water hose. They're happy pigs, and I'm thinking the happy pigs are gonna make some good meat. So that's what I mean when I say I'm not sad to see them go. I'm looking forward to getting the fruit of our labors back. I'll see y'all on the next one. Thanks for watching. Oh, by the way, when I was inside during the rainstorm, 2 chickens laid eggs in our new nesting boxes in there. So it's working really, really well. I'm excited about that. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see you on the next one. This is not going to work for any length of time, but I got to do this to get a killer thumbnail for this video. So let's talk about these pigs here. This is Oreo. This is our 300-pounder right here. This one has been 10 more days and they're off to the butcher. And I want to tell you, I want to give you an idea kind of why I'm not particularly sad to see these pigs go. Now, it's not that they haven't been totally entertaining animals. It's really not. Okay, I'm done.